Hi, this is Jimmy Bell with Wild for Outdoors. I thought I was going to give everybody a recap here of how we did in Escanaba, Michigan, the final and last event of the year for the FLW Tour before the championship. I think the main goal that we were trying to do coming into the event is make sure that we all qualified for the championship. Actually, that's the goal from the beginning of the year. We were able to accomplish that. Tommy, I think, ended up in 32nd. Myself, I was in 13th, and Ross ended up 14th. We cashed a couple of checks. I ended up in 29th, and Ross had a tremendous event, finishing in 4th place, and really getting out there and putting the smack down on some of those big walleyes. It was impressive to see him. He was the only guy running crankbaits in the top 10, running Rapala Husky Jerks in the standard colors, the black and gold, Tennessee shads, nothing fancy. Just getting out there and getting it done, and really waiting for those fish to come up off the bottom and put the feed bags on, and then he just sat out there and put the herd on them. I fished a separate hump that was over towards Big Bay, again running the crankbaits. But each event, one of the things we always want to do is figure out what are the learnings, what are the things that we can actually take from this event, and the next time we come, figure out what did we do right and what did we do wrong. And that's one of the things I want to share with everybody here, because I think coming into this event, we all talked about every year that we've been here, the event has been won on spinners, and we really got to figure out these spinner fish. And we fell into the crankbait trap again. Again, had a great event with them. I'm not going to complain about that. But you come to these events to win. You don't come to place well. And the winners always seem to come off of the spinners and the night crawlers, and they run custom blades, and they run the offshore snap weights and the boards and get them way out away from the boat. But I think one of the things we got to figure out is, for instance, on the spot I would see those fish down on the bottom in the mornings, and some of the guys would come in there in the spinners and they'd catch fish right away. As the fish moved up, I'd catch them on the crankbaits, and that's really what we're trying to do, is figure out how do you do that. You know, if you've got a hump that comes up to 20 feet and it drops down to 32, and you're putting spinners out on the boards, you've really got one presentation at one depth. But you take that and you change your speed. So say, for instance, I got a 1 ounce guppy snapped on. I can run that out, so I'm skipping over the top of the 20 feet, but I get to the edge of that, and all of a sudden I kind of slow the boat down, and I let those spinners just kind of flutter down that edge and get down into the deep. So maybe I'm going to pull spinners at 1.2 on the top, and maybe as I get to the edges I drop down to that 0.8 miles an hour. I think that's one of the things we're really going to take away from this, and we're going to figure out next time, is how do we run those spinners and change those speeds. The other thing up here in these big waters, especially in the Ocano and the Escanaba areas, is you really got to pay attention to the wind. We all knew that as that wind switched out of the east, that west bank was going to crank up, and by God it did. The guys went out there and they really put the herd on some really nice fish. Typically 20 pounds a day would get you into the cut. I had 20 and a half the first day, 21 something. You know, so I had what I would normally consider good weights to get in, but those fish really cranked up at here, you know, 50 some pounds to make the cut for the first place guy, and I think it was 47 or something like that. There's a lot of beautiful fish getting caught up in this area. I'd love to come up and fish some of the smallmouth. We got some of the biggest smallmouth I've seen around, 6 and 7 pounders, as you're out there trolling crankbaits. So I guess the learning for us is go to the spinners, learn the spinners. We're good at it. We just got to get better at it, know how to flutter those up and down off the brakes. We'll take that in here next year, or next time we come up into this area, and really be able to use the crankbaits when the fish are up, use the spinners when the fish are down. And that's probably the biggest learning for me coming out of this. Again, proud of my team. Everybody did great. We had our commitment to make the championship. So we'll be down in Quad Cities in October. It's going to be interesting to see what the river does with the water levels down real low right now, but as everybody knows, that can change in a hurry when you're on a river. But looking forward to getting down there and really having a great event. And again, thanks to everybody for watching Wild for Outdoors. Take care. God bless.